What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7 underscore D. Here's a book called The Yamasse War, a study of culture, economy, and conflict in colonial South by William L. Ramsey. Now I'm going to turn over a little bit and we're going to read a few things here in this book. And I want you to pick up on certain things, okay? Right here, in the beginning. Let me get a better focus. Okay? On April 14, 1715, the Yamasse Indians welcomed a group of South Carolinians in their principal town of Pocatello, south of Charleston, by about 60 miles. Alarmed at reports of Yamasse unrest, the English had come to reassure the Indians of their friendship and alliance, and the talks appeared to have gone well. Everyone went to bed that evening amicably, as if seeming well pleased. In the morning, however, Good Friday, the Yamassees killed the majority of the British negotiators. They spent the remainder of the day torturing those unfortunate enough to have survived the massacre at dawn. When the Carolinas cried out in agony, "My God!" Yamasse warriors danced about repeating, "My God, my God." Thomas Narney, an Indian agent for the colony, received special attention. He was loaded with wood and roasted for several days before he was allowed to die. Clearly, the Carolinians had neglected an important step in the dialogue. In the weeks following, it became apparent that the English had neglected a great deal across the entire region. Warriors from virtually every nation in the South, from the Catawbas and their Piedmont neighbors in the Carolinas to the Choctaw of Mississippi, joined together in one of the most poignant native coalitions ever to oppose the British in colonial North America. Southeastern Indians destroyed most of South Carolina's plantation districts and came within a few miles of Charlestown itself during the first year of the war. Shocked and bewildered, South Carolinians found themselves surrounded and under attack on every side but the seaside. Right? The Yamasse War, as it has come to be known, has long been recognized as one of the most important events in Southern colonial history. According to historian Gary B. Nash, Native American combatants came as close to wiping out the European colonists as ever came during the colonial period. By 1718, when peace returned to much of the region, over 400 colonists and an untold number of Native American warriors had perished, making the conflict a serious candidate for America's bloodiest war in proportion to the populations involved. The war spurred extensive tribal migrations in alliance with alignments that changed the diplomatic and cultural landscape of the region for the remainder of the 18th century, and it led directly to the collapse of the South Carolina's proprietary government in 1719. British imperial response to the war, moreover, prompted the first calls for a buffer colony to protect Carolina's southern border, culminating in the establishment of Georgia in 1733. The Yamasse War easily ranks with King Philip's War and the Potomac's Rebellion as one of the most major Indian wars of the colonial era. All right, I repeat that again. I'm going to highlight this. The Yamasse War easily ranks with King Philip's War and Potomac's Rebellion as one of the major Indian wars of the colonial era. Yet, it has not received the same level of scholarly attention. Now, I'm going to stop there. Now, I done showed you how the Yamasse look. I done showed you who the Yamasse wore. A lot of them wore turbans on their head, fezzes, whatever. The original blacks that were here in America weren't slaves. They were people who've been here for thousands of years, man. All right, and this is something that it's kind of frustrating to explain because you constantly hear our people continue to say they're slaves from Africa when there's so much documented proof that there's been so many black people here. And the original people here in America were black. I have plenty of documentation on that. The original people in America are black, Europe are black, all over. And I'm going to continue to talk about this, and I'm going to get even more detail with even talking about Indian slavery, which I talked about it in detail, but I'm going to get even more detail with that. I'm going to also talk about the Roman Empire. I'm going to go on down the line, but I'm going to talk about the Roman Empire, and I'm going to also get even more detail with the Holy Roman Empire and how the barbarians destroyed or came into the civilized world around 449, 450 AD. Before that, all that area was ruled by black folks. Let's make this clear. All that area was ruled by black folks. Your popes, your emperors, those are Negroes, man. I mean, this is not even up for debate. It really isn't, man. The original Romans were Negroes. All right? The original Romans were Negroes, period. Or so-called Negroes. They're blacks. If you don't like the term black, whatever. You want to use more, I don't care, man. But the original people of all of Europe were black people. White folks don't come from Europe. All right? And it's getting to be a really sickening to even deal with some of our people who really don't want to hear the truth. They want to continue to have stoppers in their ear or plugs in their ear. I mean, that's a better way of putting it. Instead of doing the research and finding out the truth. Now, I'm showing this Yamasse. There's more black tribes with the Yamasse, but I showed you the picture of Yamasse and I broke it down. How, you had the Creeks, you had the Catawba, the Choctaw, all these Negroes roam around the southeast, the Midwest, and the northeast. There's too much documentation. Even with the King Philip's War, I have stuff on that talking about those black Negroes in the northeast, man. This information is accessible, but it's there if you want it. You're going to have to want to do the research, man. Like I said, I put a lot of money in this stuff and did a lot of research, but I had a leg up. There's plenty of educators in my family, and that's how I had access to encyclopedias, glossaries, thesaurus, I had access to all that stuff. So the information was always there for me to just to retrieve it and receive it. But I'm giving this information because I want you to learn and acquire this knowledge, man. In this book, the guy mentioned Indians, and in the Indians we're talking about were Negroes. He wasn't talking about the Mongoloid people, so-called Mongoloid people. He was talking about Negroes, so-called Negroes, black people. And we got to understand this is my problem with Pan-Africanism. They seem to get fixated with just being in Africa. And to me, it's more, not necessarily a fixation, it's more a retardation of not growing and realize that so-called black people are global people. You're not located in one area, one region, or one location. You're all over the planet. But you have to really open your eyes and see the world and start using common sense in so many aspects. How our people sailed around the damn planet in ships. But this is just dealing with the Yamasse right here. This is just dealing with the Yamasse. And so this is something this is a good book too. I have plenty of books on the Yamasse, as you can tell by now, because I had so many books talking about the Yamasse. But it's your history. You got to go reach and get it, man. But I want to, before I leave, I want to talk about something else real quick. And talk about the Yamasse, but I want to show real quick. give people a little hint or something. You know. Okay. Oh. Okay, this is an old dictionary I have. Oops. This old dictionary has a Webster Dictionary with Student Handbook. Now, I have two of these. This one is just totally torn up. I gotta tape the side of it, but I have two of these, right? I'm going to turn. See, first, this book, this old ass book, too, man. It's like it's old. What year? Hold on, what year? This book, okay, this book stops at Jimmy Carter. So, this is an old one. Alright, this stops with Jimmy Carter. Let's see, this dictionary stops with Jimmy Carter. So, this is done, had to been done back in 70. No, this book was copyrighted in 1974. Okay, this is copyrighted in 74. So, I guess this is a little bit updated edition came out when Carter came president in 77. But it says, Student Handbook originally was copyrighted. No, actually, originally copyrighted back in the early 1970. But this is the 74 edition. But I want to show something real quick. Okay. I want to show something real quick. Is it even in this late edition, this book? Let's see. As I turn these pages, it's good to have a dictionary. Okay, I'm going to show something real quick. And I want, let's see. Okay. So I'm trying to look for, yeah, here it is. The famous word. Oh, come on, man. This thing be going out of focus and in focus. Okay, it is. Famous word. Let me get swarty. What it said, having a dark complexion. Dusty. It is swarty. Having a dark complexion. It ain't talking about no a tan. It says having a dark complexion. Dusty. It's in this book. Alright? It's in this book. Now let's look for the other one. Let's see. Let's see. We just turned through these magical pages. Okay. And let me see if I can find the other one. Let's see. Let's see. I can't find it in this book. I was trying to look for 20. And I don't think I can find it in this book. It's not in this book. But Swarty was. So I may have it. May just gotta look for it again, but my main point is that whenever you see Swarty, it's mean a dark skinned person, alright? So people try to twist words and change it over time, but Swarty means dark. It's not no white person. It's a dark person. So I'm just letting you know that. So I'm not able to find 20 in this book. I can't find a 20, but I was able to find Swarty in the book. So just letting you know that. And this is another video. I'm going to do a video, going to get in depth on the Roman Empire, East and West Roman Empire, and the Holy Roman Empire. Because I showed you the Holy Roman Empire with this banner. Alright? And like I said, I know a hell of a lot about the Roman Empire. But I also know that the way Rome is portrayed on TV It wasn't a white civilization, man. It wasn't a white civilization. that Rome was not white the way they portray it on TV. That's a total lie, you know. But you know, I don't expect much from white Hollywood or white writers, man. They have done a lot of lying, you know, with ancient Rome and ancient Greece, really, because the original Greeks were black themselves. So, uh, but you have to, like I said, you have to do this. You have to do the research, man. And you look at those, a lot of those Roman statues are fake, man. Those fake marble statues, a lot of stuff is fake. You can tell this stuff is fake because it's the aging of it looks like they look too new. It look too perfect, man. And nothing's supposed to be like at least 1,000 years old supposed to look that perfect, man. So that's fake in itself. You can tell. Look at that. That stuff is fake, man. I was trained. I have been trained in that, but I'm just letting you know that that stuff is fake, man. That stuff is totally fake. But you can basically teach yourself and learn yourself, train yourself, man, to look at stuff that's fake and it's real, man. Is it fake or is it Memorex, man? It's so, but I'm telling you, excuse me. Woo! I'm telling you, man, there's so much fake stuff out here. It's pitiful, man. So much rewriting of things, but that's all I got to say. I'm going to shut up, but I want to just give you this piece. But I'm going to do something. I got to find my book on the Etruscans. I found one of my books on the Etruscans, because I have plenty of them. I think I have about like 12 to 15 books on the Etruscans, just purely on them. But I got to find the book that I want to find, the coffee table one, the big one, and show you the pictures and show you that these are Negroes. These are one of the people who predated the Romans. These were the original Romans, or eventually became Rome. All right, these were the original Romans, and their architecture, their architecture, which actually goes back. You can see it with ancient Egypt, that little arch architecture, you know, which Romans a lot of times people give credit to. Romans didn't invent that. Romans inherited a lot of this stuff from civilization that predated them. They absorbed a lot of their culture, you know. So, it is what it is, man. It is just so sad that most of your black scholars don't really talk about this, man. They just basically kind of stuck on slavery, man. It's sad. Some of them just don't know. Others, like I said before, over and over again, they just don't want to know and don't care. And they're not going to teach you because their main emphasis is getting that tenure and trying to get as much money as they can at their university that they're teaching at, or college, whatever that they're teaching at, or even working for the History Channel. But when you study all these civilizations, man, you see nothing but Negroes, man. Not just Moors who came into 7-Eleven, because there was black people in Europe before 7-Eleven, because the people who ruled Europe were black. The indigenous people all of Europe were black. All right, well, what we call now today black. These white scholars have tried so many different tricks of the trade to whiten up stuff, even in Africa, with the 7 different races. And you look at those 7 different so-called races, all of them were black, but these fools broke down. This person has a different nose structure. This person has cheekbones this way. This is very extremely racist, man. But you really gonna have to catch on that. That's why I showed you the banner of the Holy Roman Empire. All right, that wasn't a Julius Caesar Rome, but that was a Holy Roman Empire. All right, it was different, but in any way, that dealt with a lot of like what you call Central and Eastern Europe, but those are still our people. I'll make this clear. Some you say were good, some of them were no good, but those are still our people. And this is something that we when we study our history, there's some things we're not gonna like, because some of our people sold us out. I mean, they really sold us out. Like I said, white folks, before, white people are not indigenous to Europe. All right, white people migrated to Europe, and they came in several different migrations, not one, and they were illiterate. All right, they were illiterate. It was the blacks, particularly of the religious faith, who actually taught their asses or trained them to be more literate. So to sit up there and say that everything was originally white in Europe, that's a lie, because they weren't white. All those castle structures were built by so-called Negroes, man. You need to know this. And like I said, I'm going to get in depth with Rome. I'm going to get in depth with Rome. I'm going to get in depth with the Hadrian's Wall. Talked about when that was built and who built it. You know, I'm going to try to put up an article that I had. Man, it was back in the early 2000s. It talks about it, the builders. They described them as Ethiopian skeletons that they found. That's a code word for Negro, man. Ethiopian, Libyan, Moor. That's a cold little word for Negro, black. You know, but the information's all there, man. You're just going to have to seek it out. But I want to find my book on the Etruscans, the one I want. Like I said, I have so many books on the Etruscans, but the one that I really want, I'm trying to look for. I'm put around his house somewhere. I'm going to find it. But I have so many damn books, man. It make your head spin. Shoot, boy, I at least, man, no joke, I have to have at least, man, close to, man, all my books, man, I'm close to about, I know over 3,000, I believe, but I have a lot. So, but you just have to want to research and suck in the knowledge. I'm gonna find 20. I haven't seen it in this dictionary, but I'm gonna try to find 20. You know, but I was able to find Swarty. It showed you Swarty in this book dictionary, which is dated to 1974, but it has Carter in it at 77. So this probably, it was a republication of this book. You know, and this is a book that I had handed down to me by my father, who was an educator. So, like I said before, my family for the educators, man. I know this information, and I know that listen to a lot of these Pan-African dudes, man. They haven't done no real research, dude. They haven't done anything. They just going off. They read something from Dr. Ben, read something from Dr. John Clark, and just spitting out stuff, man. It's more than that. You're going to have to really dig down deep and really suck for this knowledge, man. Really search deep for this knowledge, because it has been hidden from us. Seriously. Our history has been hidden from us. And I've been trying to just highlight some of this stuff to get that spark in all of you guys, so you can have the will of wanting to grasp or get to know more of your history and try to understand it, because the information is there. It really is. But you're going to have to want it, because there's a lot of ignorant people on YouTube, man. There's a lot of ignorant people on YouTube who really are giving misinformation to our youth. It's to the point it's disgusting. They brag. I mentioned before, they bragging about their college degrees and their diplomas, the college degrees, the various different college degrees, which I have. But really, man, if you don't have common sense, man, what is going to get you? But these individuals are very ignorant, and they take pride in being ignorant, man. And they get up there and make nasty comments about black women, or black women making nasty comments about black men. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's destructive behavior. Despite of some of the foolishness that some of my people are doing, I can't totally give up on them. Like some crazy stuff some black women doing, I cannot give up on them like that, because I know all of them not like that. So all don't be acting so-called hood or ghetto. I mean, in fact, most don't. but you just get that one-sided image. So I'm going in this video. I'm rambling now, but I just want us to wake up and start loving each other, loving us for who we are, and we are damn great people, man. So I'm just hopefully I'm giving you somewhat of a spark to do your research and to learn more about your history, your black history, your global black history, but particularly black Americans. Take pride in your Aboriginal American history, because most of you are already here. Some of you don't want to hear this. Some of you want to keep saying that you descended of slaves. Actually, you're not. Some of your ancestors were enslaved, some of them weren't, but most of your ancestors were already here. They weren't brought up over no boat, no ship from Africa. They were already here. And you're going to have to come to grips to that. That you're going to have to, toss out the root stuff, man. But peace and love.